Hello, everybody. Today I'm talking about Mars and Venus. Mars and Venus are together in Sagittarius and then in Capricorn. And during this time, they're going to have a long and tight conjunction. Is this a positive thing, or is it a planetary war that we have to watch out for? Let us explore. Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton, and we are talking Mars Venus. Do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. Something unusual is happening in February and March 2022. Mars and Venus are going to come together, conjoin, but normally this conjunction lasts 1 or 2 days. However, this year it is going to be a continuous conjunction between Mars and Venus for 1 month, from 11th of February to 12th of March. And why is this so unusual? And not only that it is a long conjunction, it is over 2 signs. The conjunction begins in Sagittarius and then continues in Capricorn. And it's due to some unusual circumstances. As you're aware that early January or most of January, Venus was retrograde. And in my retrograde classes, I explained to you that when a planet turns direct, it's very slow. So as Venus went direct on 30th of January, it is slowly starting to move, but it's not really moving a lot. Almost for over a month, its speed is very slow. So Venus is in Sagittarius and Mars is also there. And normally Mars is slower moving than Venus. However, in this unusual situation, what happens is that Mars is traveling faster than Venus. So Mars catches up to Venus. And from 11th of February onwards, they become very close. So what is happening is that Mars is traveling at a certain speed. Usually Venus travels at double its speed. Mars' orbit is 2 years, Venus's orbit is 1 year. However, this year, because Venus is yet not gathered its speed after its retrograde, it is traveling at the same speed as Mars. Very, very unusual situation. So Mars and Venus, now once Mars catches up with Venus, there is no opportunity until Venus starts moving faster for them to separate. So therefore, what is happening from 11th February onwards, Mars and Venus, they're traveling together at the same speed. In fact, Mars goes forward from Venus. It moves on 26th into Capricorn from Sagittarius, and then 27th Venus moves there, and again they are like in a tight embrace to each other right up to 12th of March. And then finally Venus starts gathering speed and he moves on. And I actually spoke about unusual Mars transit as part of my 2022 report. You should check that out as well. Mars goes into Sagittarius on 16th of January. Venus is in Sagittarius, and at present Venus is retrograding and Mars is going towards Venus. And then Venus goes direct on 29th, 30th of January, and then Mars catches up to Venus by 11th of February, and then they have this long embrace. Now, the point is this: how is it going to affect us? And what is the quality of this experience. Usually Mars Venus is regarded as a major love-in mostly, popular culture, we could say. But in Vedic astrology, Mars Venus conjunction is not regarded as such a positive one. The reason being that Mars element is fire and Venus is water. These are inimical elements to each other. The original conjunction, when they start meeting together, it's in Sagittarius, which is a fire sign. And then they go into Capricorn, which is an air sign. Earth air sign, actually. Capricorn is earth air sign. Now, what is happening is when fire and water collide, usually you'll see that hot and cold, all the hurricanes and unusual weather phenomena takes place with hot and cold. So this is happening to us individually, but also we could say to the world through weather or political instability. But the hot and cold combining together, what happens is if you put something hot in water, it starts boiling over. So Venus will steam, get angry, get frustrated, will feel under fire. And Mars, if you put water over Mars, is all this fieriness of Mars can totally disappear. The fire can be put out. So together they are not a very positive aspect. Normally, if they are together without the planetary war. Now, why does the planetary war take place? Planetary war takes place when planets are within 1 degree of each other. I made a whole series on planetary war, so you can look at that recording on that. But so when planets go within 1 degree of each other, only 5 planets, that is Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn, if they go within 1 degree of each other, they are regarded in planetary war. And so this planetary war will be too much in the face, and there is friction and irritation and things not going according to whatever you want to do. And so the planetary war, normally between planets, it takes a couple of days for it to happen and then it finishes. However, this is a long planetary war. For 1 month, the planetary war is there. As this is unprecedented, I would say that you should also see how it affects you, because it can have an impact on you, or especially if it is directly connected to you. So basically, Aries, Taurus, Libra, Scorpio, 4 out of the 12 signs will get affected by it directly, because it is either your ascendant ruler, moon ruler, sun ruler. So therefore, or it is, Mars, your ascendant as well. So these, that means more than quarter of the population has a direct experience of this. And if we start taking moon sign and sun sign as well, then it is a bigger population that can have the impact of this Mars-Saturn planetary war. And what it is that it is irritant at the best, but it can certainly make things much bigger, because it can steam you up, it can create a friction, it can create anger issues. And then children born during this time will all have Mars Venus in planetary war between 11th February to 12th of March. Therefore, that also has to be seen where they fall in, and that influence can be much later. Right now, there won't be any influence, but later on in life, this influence can be felt, because as you become more adult, then this long conjunction together. It is very rare, very unusual, so it is important to watch for it. And what is happening is that actually during this time, there are 2 days when Mars Venus are exactly conjunct. Otherwise, they are within 1 degree, so very close together, moving slowly. On 16th February and 6th March is the exact conjunction twice. And otherwise, they are in such a close conjunction that we have to really take it as a long transit. And people who are not aware of it can feel aggravated. Mars is also planet of war. So this aggravation can give a lot of irritation and anger issues. And usually in the planetary war, one planet wins the war. And there is a rule that Venus always wins the war. So therefore, as Venus is part of this conjunction, then we would say Venus has a slight strength over it. However, my personal opinion is, and I've watched this for many years and years, that when a planetary war is on, all sides get affected. Just like if you go on war, then everybody will get affected by it, the losing party and the winning party. So therefore, one of the things that we can do personally to avoid this aspect is that are we going to fight this period out, or are we going to be more calm and studied about how we react to situations? Mars Venus can create a sudden impulsive action, and this is what we have to be conscious of. Secondly, if we are thinking about doing any argument or we feel irritable, we have to think, is this worth fighting for? Is this something I'd have to argue at this moment? Prioritize your discussions, your debates, your arguments. And if you can wait, then wait till after the conjunction is over, because things can get out of control and we don't know how to manage it. Once it's out of our hands, it is out of control. The other thing is Mars Venus also has a passion component, but usually Mars Venus relationships don't last because they can be like a sudden fire and it burns out just as easily. It is quite possible for Aries, Taurus, Libra, Scorpio to meet somebody during this time, but it can be quick and then it can burn out. So therefore, we have to not rush into any relationship. If you make a connection with somebody, take your time about it and allow this relationship to develop slowly. I feel that is the most important factor with this particular transit. It is very rare, and we should also, as astrologers, watch this transit to see how it affects on a personal level, political level, weather, environment, all those things, because it can have impact on various aspects of our life. This transit goes from Sagittarius to Capricorn. Now, Sagittarius is a fire sign, Capricorn is an earth sign. The changeover is 26th, 27th of February. So the first part of this planetary war is in Sagittarius, which is a warrior sign. So there can be a lot of impulsive action, and the fire element is very strong, and Venus is also in the fire element. So especially Venus can get very aggravated during this time, and too much heat from every side. Then as it goes into Capricorn, Mars is exalted. It is with Venus, but it's a more rational, practical sign. However, it's in the sign of Saturn. Mars is exalted there. Venus is quite comfortable. But together, there can be some friction about practical things, about worldly things that can continue happening. And what I'm thinking is that it's like you start with the story of disagreeing on something in one area of life. And as this continues and continues, it goes from one area to the next area, and you haven't realized that the argument or the discussion has moved on. So it is, come 12th of March, then they separate and they move on. And secondly, in Capricorn, Saturn is also there. And Saturn is giving you some very clear signature: be patient, don't rush into things. Saturn is in its own sign. However, this Mars Venus during this their planetary war does not conjoin with Saturn. Mars will conjoin with Saturn later on. Venus will conjoin with Saturn later on. That is a separate issue. This is very much between these two main players, fire and water, that are going to be continuing for a month in tight conjunction. The interesting things about Mars-Venus conjunction could be its impact on the stock market. The financial markets of the world. Do keep an eye out on it, because what I've noticed is that whenever Venus is compromised, then it has great ups and downs. I'm not an expert on it. It's just something I like to watch. So you can watch it during this time, that this Mars-Venus conjunction can bring quite a lot of volatility. Mars is starting to influence Venus after 16th of January. However, the tight conjunction only starts in February. So you are keeping an eye out and seeing, but that war for 1 month can bring lots of volatility and ups and downs. So that is something on a world level to watch out for. Does it affect you? Do check your moon sign as well as your ascendant sign. Aries, Mars rules you. Venus rules the 7th house. This is all about relationships for you. Major transit, you should watch out if you feel aggravated, you feel stressed out, then you have to know that this is not the best transit. And it is taking place in your 9th house first and then in the 10th house. So higher mind and then career issues can come forward. And it is best to avoid the arguments if you can, because once you get involved in it, you'll find that it is difficult to let go. Taurus, Venus is your ruling planet, and this conjunction with Mars starts in the 8th house. So I would say this is quite complex for you. It is 8th house is transformation, change, unexpected consequences of action. And you may feel that partners are being obstructive and things are not going on the way you want to. And it is so important not to make any important decision during this time, and not to just get into conflict for no reason. After 26th of February, at least then Venus and Mars move into your 9th house, which is an easier energy for you and not so unstable. However, I would still wait till after this conjunction is over in March. Gemini, Mars, Venus are not directly connected to your ascendant or moon sign. So do watch what Mercury is up to. However, this conjunction is taking place starts in your 7th house, which is house of relationships, and then it moves into the 8th house of change, transformation. So I would say that it is not the so positive regarding relationships, and it can be outside people coming and interfering for you. And then the 8th house is change, unexpected energy. So waiting for Venus to go into Aquarius, and even for a long time Mercury is also in 8th house. So this is a time to take extra care and caution. Cancer, these two planets not directly connected to you. However, Mars rules your house of career. Venus rules home. Venus also is connected to finances for you. So those are the areas that you need to be extra vigilant about. And the conjunction is in the 6th house. 6th house is house of opposition and difficulty. And it could be that people who are either working for you or people who are creating opposition for you are fighting amongst themselves and creating added problems for you. I would say that is important. And then after 26th, 27th of February, Venus and Mars move into the 7th house of relationships, and therefore they can carry their dispute into the area of relationships where you need to be extra cautious at this time. Leo, Mars, Venus. Mars is a very good planet for you. Venus rules career. And this particular transit can bring some dispute issues regarding career and also children, creativity, home. I would say very important to keep the disputes to minimum, and overall take each day at its time and be watch what is happening rather than participate in it. You don't need to participate in it. These are things that are happening outside your issues. So Sagittarius is the 4th house for you. 4th house is home, happiness. Mars, Venus conflicting there can bring some conflict with mother, can bring conflict at home. So to be vigilant, not rush through anything. And then Mars, Venus move to the 5th house, which is to do with children, creativity. Main job for you is to analyze everything and not to get into somebody else's disputes, not to get into useless arguments, discussions, if you can avoid it. Libra, Venus is your Lagna Lord, Moon Lord, so this is a huge transit for you. Sagittarius is your 3rd house of effort, action. Mars is there, Venus is there, and Mars rules 7th house. So it can be connected to relationship. Also, Mars, Venus rule your 2nd and 8th house. So this could also involve relationships and money. So be careful, especially don't make any major financial decisions, and also, avoid useless arguments or fights with people close to you, your loved ones, your spouse. I would say that is most important. And just generally watch, because it's the quality of what you feel. You may feel affected by it. Scorpio, this is Mars is your Lagna Lord, Venus is your 7th Lord. So it's again self and others, spouse. It is happening in the 2nd house, starts with the 2nd house of money, finances, moves into the 3rd house of self-effort, action. So I would say at least as soon as it starts, you should know that some financial issue will come up between you and your spouse or significant other, you can say. So it is important to be cool-headed about it and not to be over impulsive. I would say that is the most important thing. And then in February, when Mars, Venus move together into the 3rd house, they are again encouraging you to do something conflicted or pushing ahead some agenda. I would say patience is the best thing, and it will help you a lot. Sagittarius, although your ascendant ruler, moon ruler is not involved, but this conjunction is in Sagittarius. So you feel this very strongly. It is very much part of who you are. And so, this aggravated energy right up to 26th of February, you have to take it coolly, calmly. Venus rules your 6th house of opposition, 11th house of money. Mars is a good planet for you, rules your 5th house, but 12th house also regarding expenses and losses. So, you can feel it very much so, especially up to 26th of February. After that, the conjunction moves on to the 2nd house of money as well. So it is all about how you manage it. Capricorn, the conjunction of Venus and Mars starts in your 12th house of loss, expenses. It's not directly connected to you, so you may not feel it so much right at the beginning, but after 26th, 27th February, this conjunction is moving on to Capricorn, and then there's a lot of activity happening in Capricorn. Mars is going to be there, Venus, Saturn is already there. So you will have to really keep a cool head and not allow Mars and Venus, their conflicts, to affect you. But Venus is one of your good planets. It rules your 5th house and 10th house and career and creativity, and Mars is bringing some conflict. So be very patient, take your time, move on. Aquarius, this conjunction starts Mars-Venus in the 11th house of money, earning. I think 11th house is quite a good position, even though this aspect is there and aggravating. It's not directly in your face, so you are okay with it. But after 25th, 26th of February, when this conjunction, Mars-Venus move together in your 12th house of expenses and loss. I think if you're feeling aggravated and you're spending just because you're feeling aggravated, keep a tight control on your expenses and just generally err on the side of caution. Pisces, again, Mars, Venus, not directly connected to your ascendant or moon sign. The conjunction is starts in the 10th house, ends in the 11th house. These are both upachaya houses, growth houses, so they do develop well. So if you wanted somewhere, these houses are okay. Although Mars rules your 9th house, you're not always open to good advice, so take care. And then 11th house is connected to money and finances. So be conscious of that as well. Be a spectator rather than a participant. That is it for today. Do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification.